May I get your thoughts on today's events?
Click like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, exactly. The police officer's right. Like and subscribe. I have been endorsed by the Metropolitan.
I see you put out the fishing rod.
You did, and you got bit, didn't you?
I did not get bit. They bit hard on my bait. They bit real hard. Oh, come on. If you can't mess with some feminists, who can you mess with? Oh no, hell no! I'm not taking that chance. So, Mr.
The point
Mr.
about
Steve.
you said about calling her a feminist. What is the F in term?
Exactly. It's literally
trans radical exclusionary feminist.
feminist. It's like you literally call yourselves for terms, and yet you say I'm not a feminist.
And it's interesting though. Let's
get in front of the camera with
what are the different levels of feminism?
waves. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. Fourth wave.
Created a fourth wave that don't even use the term.
Well, the thing is, the current fourth wave isn't. No, the fourth wave uses the term feminist, but it's about intersectional feminism.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether they're in wave 5 now, because it might actually be in wave 5, because the trans people, the trans men and trans women.
Hello, you right?
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
But yeah, the trans people are, I think, part of the 5th wave now. Possibly, I'm not sure. But the 4th wave was about intersectionalism. And that's what ushered in the trans issues, because they had to be intersectional with black feminists, with white feminists, with ethnic feminists, Muslim feminists, you know what I mean? They had to be intersectional. And then men who put on dresses became women, thus they had to be included as part of the feminist umbrella, to come under the umbrella. And now they're all rallying against that shit, they're all complaining. But it was your own fucking ideology that ushered this shit in. No, because they weren't expecting it. You see, feminists love everything as long as they think life is a buffet.
But their biggest problem, my understanding of their biggest problem, is men in female spaces. And by that, they mean men putting on dresses,
yes.
trans women. And if you want to talk purely, the trans movement is not directly associated with the feminism movement. They are separate.
Well, no.
Okay, they may be linked, they may be followed by the same sorts of people, but they are separate, different issues. They are separate, different issues.
The thing is, they are separate, and they always were separate until the intersectional feminists push their policies across. We have to be intersectional.
Well, that's clearly not them, is it?
No. These guys want to. These guys pushed all the agendas
So it is
up
interesting
until the trans bit.
why they are now pushing back on the word feminist.
They want to.
Because they think it's become associated
They want to reverse
with that,
time.
with that.
They want to go back in time now. Oh, wait a minute. Does this mean men have to get the same rights as women? Come into our spaces to take away our privileges?
I think they would argue that.
Yeah, because they think, because feminism thinks rights are like a buffet. Oh, I'll take a bit equal pay.
Oh, I know.
I'll take a bit of that.
And a hierarchy.
Or pay for the dinner, pay for the date. Oh hell no, fuck that. Men and women and children first off the Titanic. Oh yeah, we'll have that. But men getting on the same boat. Oh fuck that. So feminism thinks, or these feminists, they think that rights are a buffet. They get to pick and choose the ones they want, and as soon as men in dresses invade their, or in fact, it's not invade their spaces. No, it's just watching. But what I mean is, that's what I despise about them, and no one pushes back against.
Why do you despise that group?
No, that group. The reason I don't despise that group, I despise all feminists. That group in particular, I just wanted to fuck with them more because they go to their little safe tree every week, and no one interferes with them.
But let's analyse that for a minute. So initially they didn't. Initially they started here, and then they realised that this was a very male-dominated place.
And also they get pushed back.
Which we all agree. No.
Yes.
No. I'll tell you no.
Okay.
They came here, and the reason they didn't keep coming to the centre of Speaker's Corner here on the tarmac for very long was because of the volume, was because of the noise, because they couldn't say what they wanted to say without being screamed down. So they went over there and good on them. And actually, strictly speaking, Speaker's Corner spreads right over to the trees. So officially speaking,
So we could
they
go
are,
like all
they are
over
still within Speaker's Corner. So whatever the
Well, what
legal
I mean is,
entitlement comes through. So I completely
here-
get and understand why they came over there.
Here is where we-
Well, yeah. Let me finish. So I pleaded. I sent Kelly J a few messages saying, I get why you go over there, but come here as well, because you need to take your place at Speaker's Corner. And they didn't, and time went past. But now, for whatever reason, they've decided that they are still going to have their main bit over there. Then they come here before going to the pub, so it's on the way to the pub, and they come over here for one. Good on them. But yeah, you're right. They shouldn't have some free ticket for no one to heckle.
Exactly.
But I can understand. But I can
Exactly.
understand what you did. But I can understand how they reacted. Although, like the girl that started jumping up and down in front of your camera,
So
was
did they stick
a little
stickers on
bit.
me?
Was a little bit OCD. I don't think so. Well, they'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I was talking to Paul when all that happened. I saw a bit of a kerfuffle and
So,
somebody being ejected. No, just here.
Someone got ejected.
From this group.
Oh,
was
yeah,
it,
that was me.
it.
That was
Oh,
me.
was it? Oh, right, okay. It was you being ejected.
But it was also pointed out, which was 100% true, you were doing it for the camera.
Of course. Of course.
And that isn't always healthy for the greater good of Speaker's
them for
Corner.
free.
That isn't always good for the betterment of Speaker's Corner or the betterment of free
I
speech.
would
is it?
annoy them
Have you got your own
regardless. No, that's the mic. I would annoy them regardless, but of course I would like to get likes and subscribes. Like and subscribe if you want to see more
But
of Banksy fucking with
but okay,
feminists.
you were saying do the washing up for comedic effects.
Oh,
I know.
yeah, of course, it's
but
triggering. It's plainly
well,
triggering.
yeah.
And by the way, did the washing machine actually get invented by a woman?
Neither.
No, not the washing machine, the dishwasher.
You could have. No, I'm not.
We're gonna have to fact check that.
I was going to come out with
fact
another
check it, people in the chat.
misogynistic joke, but I won't.
Yeah, I know. I noticed how you quiet you were, Steve.
Well,
you were standing all innocent and
I
quiet.
heckle some. I don't heckle others. And I actually, if I think someone's got something valuable to say, then I'll stand back
the
and let
feminists
them
is all
get
good though.
them
The
say.
Christians and the Muslims, they get it in the ass every week from Steve. God forbid if a Tommy supporter comes up here.
Well, anyone that supports that grifting lowlife, they deserve all the heckling they get.
Oh, Steve, I'm telling you, in some of the chat groups I'm in, they hate you, man. They hate you a lot.
Bothered,
the hate,
bothered.
the
If
hate
they are
is
so
visceral.
sad that they're still giving that man either their support or their money, then I don't have much time for them,
The
frankly.
Harvest Reflection
Why would
neither,
anyone
neither,
give them
neither
their,
endorses.
Why would anyone give a serial criminal
Is he on? Is he in
who
the-
lives in Spain, very patriotic that, isn't it, living in Spain? Why does he live in Spain exactly? He used to say he had to live in, well I know he is at the moment, but he lives in Spain. He said back yonder he had to be abroad for his own safety. Well, that's nonsense now,
Well, I
isn't
don't
it? It doesn't stop him coming back and living the life of Riley when he is back here. So why does he live in Spain? That's not very patriotic. And just look at his lifestyle. That's where your hard-earned pennies are going to, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd just like to say that
Stop
Tommy
supporting the grifter.
is a-
And this pledge nonsense. You know, that's an AI generated bit of nonsense. What's it going to achieve? No one's going to, you know, it's a way of getting your emails in order to send you begging emails. Pure and simple. Don't you get it? Sign up to the pledge. You're giving him your email to his database so he can then send you grifting emails. That's what it's for. Start of, end of. The pledge is not going to achieve anything. No political party is going to sign it. No serious politician is going to sign it. And by the way, some so-called politicians that have signed it aren't even elected representatives. They've stood repeatedly to try and get elected, and they failed every single time. And then they throw their toys out, and they worry why the political party that they're throwing their toys about and whinging and moaning about all the time isn't the most welcoming place for them.
We neither support,
The word narcissist
condemn
comes
or
to mind.
condone anything said by Steve here.
Why are you such a, as I said to you yesterday, I know you're feeding off the crumbs of Mr. Robinson. And you're desperate for those crumbs to continue and for you to get on the stage.
Let me give you the honest opinion. First of all, I do believe Tommy Robinson is of value in this current
value? What is that value?
because he has a movement, and that movement is, even if you will, parallel, aligned with
What's his movement achieving?
reform.
What's his movement achieving?
Well, his movement is one of the few movements that actually, first of all, you can't deny the grooming gang.
No, I'm talking now.
in
I'm
attention.
talking about now. That was years ago.
Okay.
Now, what he's doing.
the
What
fact
does
is-
his movement serve
The fact is,
now?
his movement is still it sort of emotionally charges the British public to action.
The British
I
public?
don't.
A
Yeah,
section of?
No. Because the thing
You
is,
think the British
I thought
public
about what
on-
you said. And although there was only maybe 30,000 people at Parliament.
Thank goodness!
No,
Finally
there
we
may be,
hear
there may be
2030, not 200,000,
Maybe.
not 300,000, 20 to 30. I'm glad
I think that
you've
there
seen
are
so.
hundreds, if not millions, that are at home, that are the silent majority that still do support Tommy. I think there are plenty
I
of
think
people
even millions
that
have
support.
heard of it.
No. I think the British people have definitely heard of it.
Really?
I think.
And you think
I think
millions of the British public
you would
support
struggle.
it?
I think so. I think tacitly and.
How many millions might you have it again?
I don't know. I mean, obviously you can't really
4
put a
million?
number on
More
that.
or less than 4 million?
I couldn't say.
Because of course 4 million, over 4 million voted
But what-
for reform.
Yeah, but what I would say is that it could
Tommy
be
was supportive.
No one, well, practically no one voted UKIP or Heritage, all the other bit parties.
all I'm saying is that I think you're underestimating his value.
Elon Musk isn't talking about UKIP, is he? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, because Farage is a friend of Trump, so he went over there, he promoted his stuff. If Tommy
Which is a
Robinson
pretty
was sitting at a
strong link.
table with Trump, I'm sure Elon Musk would have
It's not
taken
gonna happen,
notes.
though, is it?
No, but
It's
what
not
I mean
gonna
is,
happen.
if
As
he had
much as
access,
Tommy would
no, but
love
you
it,
can't, you
it's
can't
not gonna
compare
happen.
the access Farage has to Trump and Elon
That's
to
good,
the
isn't
access
it?
that
And that's part of the
that
strength
Tommy
of
has.
reform,
But what
isn't
I'm saying is, why throw the Tommy supporters and the Tommy movement under the bus?
Who's throwing them under the bus?
Well, Farage is essentially for a lot of times, and the way Richard Tice talked about the supporters and the marchers.
He said that long.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
in a
was
very
that's been
derogatory
interpreted
way.
by the inner Tommy
come on.
circle to mean the entire crowd at that demonstration.
but it's
which
a-
clearly, I think,
Yeah,
Tommy,
I mean-
Richard wasn't. Talking.
Yeah, but come on. Generally, I think it's an unnecessary.
Why do you not see the grift? Why do you not see the email farming?
Look,
That's all the pledge is about, isn't it? Getting it in a database of emails. All it's about. Why keep them?
Because anyone can make.
Why
I
then
can
email
make up
them?
100
Why
email
email
accounts
them
tomorrow.
again and again and again and again? Why?
She cussed at my shoes.
I know, that was a bit-
You know, these are ASICs. They're £150 trainers. These are ASICs trainers. These are not cheap. How could she diss my I'm sorry. I digress.
You digress.
These trainers
you
are
need
worth
to,
more
you
than
need
her
to get more than
clothes.
crumbs, don't you? You need to get more than crumbs from this group.
Look, all I'm saying is, it's an unnecessary bat fight to throw Tommy Robinson supporters under the bus.
Tommy Robinson is an unnecessary side noise in the grand scale.
I
In the
disagree.
grand scale of
I
things.
think he is a significant support and a significant movement which resonates the public. It energizes the
Resonates.
public. No, resonate.
Resonates? Is that a word?
It is. Resonate.
Resonate.
Not resonate, but that's resonating with people. I'm talking about hyping them up, motivating them.
I think you just made a word.
There is a word because.
Well, it's not resonates.
Okay, maybe I'm using it wrong.
Stimulates.
No. It's to motivate people, it's to get them to energize, rise them up. I don't think so. I think there's
Enough
more
to win a general
tacit-
election.
I think that enough to help to win a general election by
So,
someone like
well, just on that then. So, obviously would never happen. It would be absolutely toxic and poisonous and would have the opposite effect. But if Tommy joined and was welcome to reform, you genuinely think that would significantly have any impact?
I think it
positive
might
impact?
have that enough of an edge to push them over the line.
So the intention of reform is to go from 4.2 million to 9 million and win the next general election. So that's gaining
But that
another,
could-
gaining another 5 million votes on top of the 4.2 that we got in the last general election. Obviously keeping those as well. You really think Tommy Robinson is the catalyst to move reform to 9 million votes?
What I'm saying
or
is
to
that
help
even
it in
if
good-
reform gets, let's say, 6 million, it could be that last couple of million that Tommy supporters
sometimes
will bring
there's
to
one
the
vote in
table.
it, yeah.
Exactly. So why throw them under the bus in such a way in which I think it's a waste. It's not like it's an unnecessary own goal. It's not.
Do you think,
necessary?
forget him for a moment, forget Tommy Robinson for a moment, do you accept that there are sometimes there's a thing or a person that is toxic?
Of course, there's plenty of people.
So there are things that are toxic, that is unhelpful for a serious political party to touch.
To be
Can you give me an example
fully
of
in
something?
line with.
So do you think, give me an example of something or someone group, organisation, that you agree it would be toxic for Reform to get into bed with?
Well, I mean, if you guys happen to be aligned with Al Qaeda, it might be a little bit of
let's
you said group.
Let's talk about British-based people.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So give me
you
some
got people
British
like
examples.
National Front, the British National Party, possibly Paul Golding, maybe even
who's Paul
Jada
Golding's
Friendly.
best mate now?
Yeah, but I mean,
who's Paul Golding's best mate? I completely agree with you.
But
Paul Golding would be a
Paul Golding
very
has never been to one of the
him and
marches,
Tommy
he's
are like
never been a
that.
speaker.
Him and Tommy are like that. Frequently they sing from the same hymn sheet.
But the thing is, in that sort of Reform, UKIP, Tommy,
Anyone else?
Golding.
I mean, National Front doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, but the British National Party.
I'm not sure if the BNP exists like that.
But how about that guy Griffin, Nick Griffin?
What about Homeland? What about Homeland? What about, I mean, you haven't heard of the Homeland Party? An offshoot of Patriotic Alternative, who did actually manage to get registered with the party.
Really? Oh, okay.
You've not heard of that?
No, yeah.
Patriotic Alternative, would they
Oh,
be?
of course, yeah, there would be. I mean, Mark Khaled would be a very poisonous or toxic individual, and anyone associated with that, of course. As I said, National Front or anyone associated with that type of group. So yeah, there are plenty of groups, and I just don't think Tommy is one of those.
Change the subject slightly, but not very much. Why is Tommy complaining about a conviction for which he pleaded guilty?
Well, I mean, come on, you know that no journalist has ever been put in prison for this kind of
Is he
offence.
really a journalist?
Everybody's a journalist. Every
Everyone,
camera here
well,
is a
as for
journalist.
everyone's
We don't
a
have
journalist. That's
in
as
this
wide
country.
as you're
We don't.
making the
No, but in this
definition.
country we don't
Everyone's a
have. We don't have a. You don't have to be licensed in any way to be a journalist.
No, it has
Anyone
been the
with a
case.
camera and an audience is a journalist. Can report the news because
So you accept that that's quite broadening the definition.
Yeah, but what I mean is that you're trying to actually narrow the definition. Well, who do you think would be a bona fide journalist?
Well, I mean, okay,
Would
yeah,
someone
social
on
media,
YouTube
social
be a
media and
bona fide
phones and YouTube have obviously changed it slightly, but journalism is something that typically, in previous recent history, you've gone and got qualifications for, you've studied for, you've worked from a junior runner, not runner, but a junior level
It's
to become
some
a
mainstream
fully
media
blown journalist.
organisation.
That's generally when people say, I am
but that
a
was
journalist.
considered. That is what is considered old school journalism.
One thing, and I don't know whether any dictionary definition of the word journalism would include this, but generally, journalists are, how can I put this? They have a degree of independence, yet they're not activists. That's probably a better way of putting it. I think there is a clear distinction between an activist and a journalist. That has become blurred.
I mean,
surely-
actually, if you think about it, you consider Guardian to be a journalistic.
Well, that's why I was
material
hesitating over saying
a
that
newspaper,
journalists
or
are
is it an
unbiased.
activist?
Clearly, lots of journalists
Exactly.
work for organisations that do have. But are they an activist? Yeah, I'm sure if a journalist who works for the Guardian, they may be blurring the boundaries between activists
What's his
and
name? That
journalists. But
guy-
I don't think that's good.
Yeah, but what do you think that
But
guy?
someone like Tommy, someone like Tommy Robinson, to claim that they're a journalist, when clearly they're an activist, really, that maybe are doing a bit of stuff that could equate to journalism.
That Indian girl from Nirvana Media.
My mate. Ash.
Ash Sarkar.
Ash Sarkar.
Is she a journalist? She went to journalism school.
Well, she's one that's very heavily blurring the boundaries. So it's not an example that I would
think,
say
Steve,
is a
I
good
think
example.
either you haven't paid attention or you're missing you're missing the point that so-called journalism and media has changed. There's what we call the new media now. Citizen journalism, but just new media. The online social media has changed the landscape of journalism. It's no longer the newspapers, the radio, and the TV. They don't dominate anymore. So for that reason, you can't. Really to say who is a journalist and who isn't, you can't really make that kind of a claim anymore, unless the police do, because they, for example, Maya Tusi. Well, no, Maya Tusi wasn't allowed yesterday in certain areas because he didn't have.
That's another example.
The union card.
He's as much of an activist as a journalist as well, I would say.
But he reports majority of his news is just straight up news. Like today, he was talking about Syria. He's not an activist for Syria. He's just reporting it like it is.
But if you're at a protest and there's two sides of that protest, there's an opposing and the main side of that individual protest. if you're clearly on one side, you're not there as an independent journalist, so therefore you're not necessarily going to have the freedoms to wander around the crowd, because what you're going to be saying things that's going to trigger.
Yeah, but
one
I
side.
wasn't on. I was. I mean, my opinions are that I'm on the Israeli side,
But you probably don't.
I didn't. Yeah, I said to the police. The police asked me, "Are you going to do anything? Are you just an independent cameraman?" I'm like, I'm not going to say a word to anyone. I'm not ruffling any feathers. I'm just going to record. And I literally didn't talk to anyone. I spoke to you and Nayak, but I never really talked to any of the Palestinian side because I wanted to remain in that middle ground.
Yeah.
I was singing actually, Israelis to my left, Palestinians to my right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. I was singing.
I love this serious journalism.
This is, look, my journalism is comedic
And fair enough,
in nature.
fair enough.
I never said I'm a serious journalist. I am what is essentially known as a shit talker on the internet. That is what
Couldn't have put it
actually.
better myself.
I've never claimed to be some kind of journalist. Just a shit talker on the internet. That's where that's the hill I will die on. Anyway, thank you, sir.
Thank you.